Have you ever gone through a difficult time during high school?
Yes, and I'm still going through it.
Yes, I have.
I definitely have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Junior year, one of my best friends died due to suicide.
My Nana's she had stage 4 cancer, and it's just been an ongoing process.
Sophomore year was like really hard for me. I was battling with depression and anxiety really bad, and had to be hospitalized for like 2.5 months.
Sophomore year, I struggled. I blew everything off, and it came back to bite me. Like, I failed. I had to repeat a year. It was just actually pretty tough.
At home, we had a lot of family issues with alcohol and having my brother's drug drive, and it all came up from my dad, who used to be like that. And due to that issue, he passed away.
10th grade, my parents separated, and when that happened, it put everything into turmoil at our family.
During high school, it was basically the time I was figuring out my identity, which also produced a lot of anxiety for me, figuring that out, and then also figuring out how I was supposed to tell people and wondering if I was going to lose my family or my friends.
I have ADD, and I didn't know it in high school, and I struggled through high school a lot.
High school as a whole was kind of a difficult time. Me and my mental illness wise, I was kind of figuring out how to help myself, and that was like a really tough process in general. And then I was also like really scared and like nervous to not be popular.
Freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I experienced a lot of like racism.
My dad, he had some pretty serious mental health stuff going on around the time when I was 15.
During junior year, that was the first time that I've ever actually been like inpatient, but it helped being in the hospital. It sucked, but it helped. Kind of course, in the moment of like overdosing.
Long story short, I was in a very long relationship, and it ended in a way that I didn't have enough closure.
My sophomore year, my friend Jacob died, passed away.
I had really bad depression and anxiety, so my mom sent me to Bradley. So I was in like a Safe Quest program. It was like 4 or 5 hours after school every day, so I like couldn't do my homework or anything.
A peer of mine collapsed on the field and she dies. The first time, the real first glimpse of death firsthand, and I didn't know how to react to it.
So how did that make you feel going through that situation?
It was a very like sad time, but it was also more in like anger, and like you felt guilty because you couldn't do anything to help them, and you wondered like what you could have done, if like how you could have made them stay, and then they're just gone one day and you don't expect it.
Kind of helpless.
Kind of like there was no hope, I guess. Like, there was no really escape from how I was feeling except for sleep.
At first, it didn't really hit me right away, but then, and I really thought about it, I was like, damn, like, it was pretty tough, actually.
I'm the type of person who doesn't like to let everyone know how I feel, so I mostly keep to myself. But doing that also made me feel lonely.
Made me feel like, yeah, of course sad, and I think just pissed and angry and all those kind of feelings.
Honestly, sad. It felt like I wasn't being genuine with anyone. It felt like I was keeping this huge part of me a secret, and it was really affecting me.
It made me feel inferior to others. It made me feel stupid.
It made me feel like really alone.
I'd feel like unsafe and unwelcome, as if I was an outcast and, you know, like I didn't belong.
Confused and alone and scared.
Feel alone, obviously, so I was like, I didn't want people knowing, either for like judgment reasons or just like I was embarrassed as well.
It was very difficult for me. Like I had a lot of anxiety, and it just couldn't really trust a lot of people.
Depressed, just kind of like questioning
Everything. Hopelessness was definitely the biggest emotion that I felt through it.
Everything was just falling apart.
Is this an issue that you're still dealing with, or have you overcome it?
I think you're gonna deal with, like, especially a death of like a best friend for like most of your life. Like, you still wait for like the text every day, like, how are you, how was your day, and like you don't get them, and you never really overcome it. But I think it gets easier. But like, you'll hear a song that was like their favorite song, and, like, the emotions come back.
I'd say I've overcome like the majority of it. I feel like I've come a long way.
Mostly yes, because I couldn't graduate on time, so I had to do an extra year of high school. So me being my senior year, this is me just getting back on track.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes things always come up.
Since the beginning of high school, I have come out to my friends. I'm pretty open about it in general, and I have come out to my parents and my sister.
Well, I've overcome like caring about what people think about me, but mental like illness-wise, it's never gonna go away.
Still is hard because sometimes I do experience it even now.
It's gotten a lot better, but definitely still dealing with it.
I've definitely overcome it.
I definitely have gotten over it.
I can't say that I've moved past it, but I can't say that it's still with me. It is with me. It stays in the back of my head. Like, I remember it now and then.
What helped you overcome it and kind of put it behind you?
Taking my mind off of it, because if you think about it too much, then it like it affects you more.
Like I said, it's been an ongoing situation, so I've had time to like dwell over it and accept it, but I still haven't accepted it.
Just the fact that you get one life and you might as well live it how you want to live it.
I got help from Mrs. Murphy and a couple of the teachers. She sat with me every day to make sure that I passed my math class, and I had a couple students who helped me too, make sure I got what I need to do.
By the time you're an adult, you kind of understand that adults, not all relationships work out, and so I think there's that process that you move on.
Finding a community. And it's crazy because a lot of my friends have also come out, like people who I never realized like would. And it was crazy just knowing that there are so many people like you who you don't even know about.
Started taking medication for it, and been taking medication for about, 8 or 9 years, and it made a big difference.
I took a lot of like art therapy classes, and I started painting a lot, so that was
talking with like therapists and like people either here at school or like outside of school.
Like being with my family, my mom and I got really close.
Definitely talking to my friends who are also close with him.
It's mostly due to like the people I've been hanging out with, and I've learned to talk about it.
While you were dealing with this issue, did you talk to other people?
Helpful talking to somebody like with an authority figure, because at times like you would get mad and you would like lash out on certain people for doing certain things to them, but like she had to remind you that like everybody else was grieving too.
No, I just keep it to myself. I think this is why it makes me feel more angry than I think I should be.
I had a very small support group, I feel like.
I kind of just like had just Ms. Murphy to talk to about it, but she was pretty understanding.
I did.
Mainly my sister. She was the most supportive through this whole thing, and also my best friend was wonderful too.
Like, I started going to therapy middle of junior year.
I did. I talked to, my friend's uncle. Like, we were very close, so we'd hang out a lot, so he'd experience it too.
There were people that I met in the hospital that I still talk to, like, to this day, but we just talked, like, during the hospital about everything, so that definitely helped.
I went to a therapist. I was with my mom all the time, and I had really good, like, 2 or 3 close friends that I confided in.
Yeah, I talk mostly to my close friends.
Yeah, I've talked to my parents about it.
So I tried to resort to friends, which works like much better because they understand you more than your mom does usually.
What did you learn about yourself as a result of going through this situation?
like you're a lot stronger than you seem, because at first I was like devastated, like I couldn't get out of bed, like I couldn't do anything, and then like you slowly get like stronger.
Definitely that I was resilient, and I pulled through even though I felt like I wasn't going to, and that's just life. You bounce back.
I learned that it's easier for me to get distracted, but when I know like I need to get something done, I'll be determined to finish it.
I learned that I'm actually a very strong person.
I learned that I'm a lot stronger than I give myself credit for.
I learned that I really like being alone and having alone time.
I learned that I'm not as weak as I thought, because before I thought, you know, with everything that I was being called and the way I was treated, I felt small.
I'm definitely capable of a lot more than I thought I could do.
Definitely the fact that I can't like let other people's actions control the way I feel.
I learned that I can overcome things like that, and that I can be resilient, I guess.
What did you learn about this experience overall?
Especially being on this small island, you think nothing bad's gonna happen here, like nothing, like suicide doesn't happen, like bad, like things don't happen, but like they do.
I also got a tattoo of it, nothing lasts forever. Like, that's why it makes everything so precious, because it's just everything doesn't last forever.
Stop letting things get to you so much and just be yourself.
There's always someone there to help you, no matter what. It may not seem like it, but there are teachers and friends in your corner who want you to succeed in life.
Speaking out to others really helped. Knowing that you're not the only one going through it.
Learning from the experiences now is like, it wasn't my fault. Like, there's nothing I could have done.
No matter what you're going through, it's kind of like there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You're always going to find your way out of it.
I learned that, you know, ADD is not something to be, you know, taken lightly, and it's something that can be worked with.
High school doesn't matter. People in high school don't really matter. Their opinions aren't like real.
People were thinking that, you know, racism's over and that people are treated equally, and they're not at all. So that's just something that has to end and that has to be worked to be stopped.
Like, everybody's just human, and they all go through things, and they all have a hard time, and it's important to be aware of that and caring and just treat people with kindness.
People are like that have depression or anxiety and OCD. It's not just them that have it. It is a lot of other people, either in school, of course, like people that you don't know, like in school have it, and that you're not alone.
Like, always trust your gut is basically what I learned.
Even though people who we're close with might not be here with us anymore, and it might be a difficult thing to go through, life goes on.
Now I know that, you know, our time is limited, and that's definitely something that I have learned from it.
Well, when going to Bradley, I had about 8 people in my like program, and when I walked in there, I was like, whoa, these are all people that I feel like I'd see on Instagram. Like, they're just so normal. I thought I was like the only one. So I kind of realized that like I'm not.
What advice would you give to someone who's going through a similar situation?
Like, find an authority figure or just like a friend, a parent that you can talk to.
Just let them know that you're there for them.
Find something that helps you cope. I started doing art.
Don't slack off. It may seem like you're okay to, and that you can afford to. Don't slack off. Like, it will come back and bite you. It did to me.
You're not the only one, and it all comes in different ages. There will always be not just 1 or 2 times, but it will keep coming, and it just depends on how you want to overcome it.
Find your own time, find your own space, and find your own, like, things that you want to be positive about. Like, I got into sports.
Be confident in yourself. Don't doubt yourself. Even though it feels awful when you're first trying to figure it out, once you get there and once you start to tell people, even if the reactions are not what you want, eventually you will come to accept how people react, and you are your own person regardless of whether you get support or not.
Don't be frustrated, just keep working at it. And if you do have ADD, just embrace it. There's a lot of good things that come along with it.
Like, everything's gonna be okay. It takes a really long time, but like, you just have to breathe through it. You have to get through it because it's not really something that you can avoid.
Realize that you're not the problem and that there's nothing wrong with you. And then if it keeps bothering you to a sense where it's like, you know, genuinely bothering you and you don't know what to do, find someone that you can trust and talk to them about it.
Find someone you trust and try to talk about it.
It's not something to be ashamed of, and that you are not the only person that has been going through this, has gone through it, or will ever go through again.
Promise you that it will get better, like regardless, like, you know, you think it's the end of the world and like you have no one, but there's always going to be someone that's there for you.
Even though the people who you were close with and have passed away aren't here anymore, that they would want to see you happy.
Talk. Like, seriously, talk to someone. Don't hurt yourself. That's so stupid.
You can't fix it. You have to deal with it. You have to accept that. And being there for someone is the most important thing that you can do for someone.
Do you feel like there are resources available at MHS to help kids through difficult times in their life?
I think so. Like, Miss Pine was very like helpful during this time. Like, I think everybody has like a different teacher they could go talk to and stuff.
From experience, I've talked to Miss Whitten and Miss Toner and them, and I've had them since I've been in 8th grade, so yeah, I do. They do help.
Yeah, you just have to know where to look.
Yeah, I think there is. You have guidance counselors, you have teachers that you have bonds with, friends, like there are multiple resources that you can go to for help.
Well, you have guidance counselors, you have teachers, you have, you know, resource aides, all those type of people that are here to help you go through times like this.
I know they have guidance counselors, and there is a GSA.
I know you have Miss Whitten and Miss Toner. I've known them for a long time.
I think Miss Toner and Miss Pine do a really good job.
You can always talk to a guidance counselor.
I know that a lot of kids feel like there aren't a lot of resources, but there are. I think the most important resource is to find a teacher that you get along with well and that you trust. I think the first step is reaching out to them, because even if they don't know how to handle the situation or they're not really comfortable discussing it with you, they can make referrals to someone like Miss B or Miss Toner or Miss Whitten.
Definitely, like if you have a really close teacher that you feel comfortable with, like they have been here longer than us, they have the advice, they've been through it all, everything, everyone's been through everything. You can always find someone to talk to.
Yes, I do. I mean, I don't use them just because I'm so shy, but I definitely feel like Mrs. B and all of them could definitely help.
Do you wish that there were more resources available?
You don't really hear like teachers reaching out to kids that are going through rough times, and but like after something happens, then they're like accessible to you.
Yeah, I do, because like just from my experience talking to Miss Whitten and Miss Toner and all the other ones, everyone doesn't connect to the same resource person the same way. So yeah, I kind of think they should.
I think there could be more, because we got guidance counselors, but they have a whole bunch of other students.
I wish there was more of a support system. Like, I remember when I was like visiting college, it's a huge thing to me, and it was so small. They'd have like safe space stickers on the doors, which is huge, especially for someone who's still in the closet, like being like, okay, well, I know that I'll be safe here.
I definitely believe that there's people in the school that would benefit from having some type of program or club.
Miss Toner and Miss Whitten are here 24/7, which I think is like very, very hard for people, because it helps if there's someone here permanently 24/7 to talk to, like say like on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever day that they aren't here, someone needs someone. There isn't really anyone to come talk to.
Like a small program.
Most of the time kids are afraid to go there, like they're not comfortable because they don't know the person, and a lot of the times people don't realize like what's going on in someone's life, so I wish there was more like people reaching out.